The next one is the same tournament, Brood War number 7, lower bracket round 2, Inside Job versus Mevius. Now, both these players, they're in the lower bracket, which means that they've already lost a round, and if they lose again, they're out of this tournament. So let's go into the first game. Best of 3 series. We've had, well, we just casted two TVTs. This one's a ZVP. And both these players are a lot of fun to watch. So we're on Eclipse, 2-player map. We've got Inside Job up here in the top right is our blue Zerg. And we've got Mevius, our red Protoss down here in the bottom left. Now we've talked about this map a little bit before. Some of the things to note. Third base is a little bit far from the main and the natural, but it is on elevated terrain with a single ramp. And then up here in the top left, you have these double gases that have 3,000 each, which is kind of a key piece of terrain. What tends to happen is these elevated pieces of terrain tend to be kind of the biggest fighting grounds, right? Holding this high ground, which is the quickest access into the natural and the main for both sides, tends to be a pretty repeated game pattern. So that's the map. Let's go ahead and see what our players are up to. Right now, Inside Job, sitting at 9 drones. We'll see if he decides to go overpool. He does have an Overlord being morphed at the moment. No extractor trick or anything. And then there's the spawning pool. So overpool for Inside Job. Down here we've got Mevius throwing a pylon, probably a forge. Forge here at the natural. Now we've seen Mevius gets casted a good amount. Tends to make it pretty far in a lot of these brackets. And we've seen that versus Zerg, Mevius really feels most comfortable doing kind of like a forge opening, which is really common for Protoss. Get a forge, get a couple of cannons, and then respond to either the inevitable kind of like Hydra Bust formation or the Mutalisk Harass. What is kind of a little bit of a variable is how often Mevius goes into like earlier Corsairs. So we'll see how that kind of plays out. But Mevius in here with a probe. He's not being annoying with it, but he is keeping an eye on everything. And right now we have Inside Job sending his drone over, and he's going to see the forge and the first cannon being constructed. There's the second one. So I feel like Inside Job has a lot of options right now. Right now he's getting his initial natural expansion. He might just make a ton of lings and just try to run by these 2 cannons. I think he can slip by right here and just get straight into the main. If he has enough. That's one pattern that can sometimes happen. He may go into Hydralisks and just try to bust it with just an overwhelming force. Or he might try to get this gas up, start mining it, go layer, get that spire, and try to hit the main. Generally, Mevius usually, after expanding, will throw down a pylon and get like at least 1 cannon in his mineral line. But we'll see how that goes with what scouting information he ends up having through all of this. So he does get his gateway out. That's going to really tighten up this wall. That really definitely congests it from that Zergling option that I was talking about. But these tend to be free buildings, the forge and the gateway, if he decides to go heavy into Hydralisk play. Getting the assimilator, there's that pylon near the main base. And IJ is going to run down here with some links, but he is opting to get a third. Okay, just going to park out here. He's not losing anything. Keeping an eye on the Protoss. What is this? All right, Cybernetics Core. So we may see him going into Stargate and Corsairs here in a little bit. All right, Nexus is complete. We'll probably see that probe transfer. Getting another pylon. Nothing too exciting. And we are going layer. Okay, so this does look like, with IJ seeing kind of this wall, only now if he, I don't even know if he can see that. No, he can't see the wall. Okay, he's going to see the 1 Zealot here. He feels pretty confident that he can probably go Mutalisks. Not only that, but it'll allow him to get Scourge in the event that the Corsairs start coming out and sniping all of his Overlords. And he's going to get this Overlord over here, and he's going to see everything. Eventually. Man, you gotta love that Overlord pre-speed. And there's the Stargate. So, layer is up. Imagine we'll see a Spire go down here immediately. Yep. And we'll have a nice little air battle coming up. This Overlord's going to try to get the heck out of dodge. Got Zealots chasing Zerglings. Tale as old as time. And more droning just going on. Alright, pretty uneventful first 5 minutes. Both players just powering up. These Zealots are going to run across. But he's got enough Zerglings to probably deal with it. Don't think it's going to... Oh yeah, he's got plenty of Zerglings. He's going to throw down another hatchery. But no need to get a sunken or anything. And we do have Corsair production starting. This one's undoubtedly going to kill this Overlord, so hopefully IJ gets another one under production. Specifically to replace that one. Good placement of these Zealots, by the way. Getting a lot of extra hits and reducing that surface area by using that wall. +1 weapons on the way. Alright, now it doesn't look like he has a ton of minerals right now. He's going to be able to pop out probably 3 Mutalisks. But I'm wondering if he might just go Scourge first. Yeah, okay, so he's getting his Scourge out first. Getting Flyer Carapace. A lot of those minerals went into getting this additional macro hatch up. He's got another one being built over here in his third. And a couple of creep colonies. So no Mutalisks yet. I'm wondering if this might turn into a Ling Flood. He's definitely going to have the larva for it. More Corsairs being produced non-stop. Good Scourge connection. Does kill one of them. I don't think he's created a whole lot more Scourge. He's got 2 more over here. They're going to run straight into this. Oh! What are you doing? Got a high-speed chase. Oh, get him. Get him. Before those shields replenish. Doesn't stand a chance. This is the only thing happening on the map, guys. I mean, Mutalisks just pop out. Hydralisk then going down. We'll see if this connection ever happens. I mean, eventually Mevius is going to forget to queue it somewhere. Ah, he's going to run it back to these cannons. Well, it looks like this Corsair is going to survive. Good move by Mevius. Mevius getting some more gateways. He's also he's about to go into High Templar. This is going to be a real pain. But with the Mutalisks coming across the field, there's no cannons here in the main. The only thing he's got is 3 Corsairs, which can do a lot of work against, 5 Mutalisks. We've got more Scourge under production, though. Oh, and he's going DTs. I love the combo Corsair DT. Corsair's knocking out all the Overlords, getting rid of the detection, and then the DTs just come underneath and kill everything. But Hydralisks are being pumped out. The Mutalisks are going to bring these Corsairs. It looks like just one is going to follow them. But we're going to start having Hydralisks and Scourge hanging out at the bases. And the Corsairs aren't going to really be able to do a whole lot. I like these burrowed lings, too. Just keeping vision. Alright, Corsair's trying to shoot some Overlords. Speed just got upgraded right then and there. Plenty of Scourge, but this Corsair's probably heading back to cannons, so they likely won't make any connections. And we're starting to get the Zealot count and High Templar count up for Mevius. Unfortunately, IJ hasn't really been able to put on a ton of pressure. So Mevius has been able to kind of build up quite the ground army. He's got a couple Dark Templar kind of scattered in there. And both these air forces are just kind of swirling around the map around each other, just passing in the night. More gateways going down for Mevius. And this Corsair count's getting kind of ridiculous. These Mutalisks aren't going to really be able to get much done at all. He's going to have to bring these Scourge down, but they're going to have to connect. With this many Corsairs, with good targeting, you can really shred a lot of those Scourge before they get to you. Alright, Corsairs are stopping. Ooh. Okay, good connections here. Nice! That really thinned out the Corsair count. That was great for IJ. We might be able to see a little bit of a turn here for a Zerg player. But the production started to get a little out of control for Mevius. He's got more Corsairs on the way, a lot more Zealots being produced. He's got cannons going down in the main. And the Mutalisk count's not super high, right? It's 5. Alright, the High Templar, they shoot their storms and they start morphing into an Archon. There's no anti-air, so this Archon's going to die. But there's a lot of Zealots. Now, where are all these Hydralisks? Hanging out right here. They're ready. So IJ's been doing a pretty good job of just keeping Mevius busy. He hasn't done a ton of damage to the base, but killing a lot of those Corsairs with those Scourge is just super hyper efficient. So the Corsair count's not high enough to really gain map control. Oh no, losing a couple Mutalisks to those cannons is never a feel good. Zealots and DTs poking around. Now, another thing to know is there's no observatory. So, in the event that IJ decides to go Lurkers, this could be really dangerous for Mevius. Mevius now taking a third, though. So, about to catch up economically to our Zerg player. And it looks like IJ is starting to get his control groups set up for these Hydralisks to move across the map. One does kind of come down here, dies. Oh, this is going to be huge. Now, IJ's still got a ton of money and a ton of larva. Curious to see how he uses it. He's getting his Lurker upgrade now. That's what we were talking about, is that could be so dangerous. Okay, so the observatory is just now about to get finished up. We have transition into Dragoons. DT's going to see this. A couple Overlords are coming along, though. Looks like he skirts just outside, takes one shot from a Hydralisk. And here we go, the engagement starts. Mutalisks are coming in, opening salvo from the Hydralisk. They're kind of trickling in here. Zealot's able to get a couple. Now remember those High Templar? There's no more High Templar on the field right now. There's one being produced, but I don't see any others. So right now what you need against this is a bunch of Storm. Now the Zealot count is really doing a number to these Hydralisks, but there's just so many of them. But yeah, some Storm, maybe a Reaver or something would really be ideal for Mevius at this time. Oh, he's diving! He's pushing in here! What is he doing with these Hydralisks? They're going to come in here. They're going to just start opening fire on these... just everything. It's not really being target fired. It looks like he's going to try to take out this cannon. It's not going to go down. I think that was a little bit of a blunder here from IJ. One cannon dies. He's still taking hits from the other. This is so aggressive. I love it. Zerglings and Hydralisks continuing to flow in. The Zerg force just starting to overwhelm this position. Looks like this Forge is going to die with an upgrade that was under production. Now, Storms might be huge here. Oh, not the biggest Storm, but does do some damage to the Hydralisks. And they're just starting to melt these cannons. The defenses are falling for Mevius. Right now, the Hydralisks are getting up into the main. They're trying to snipe these High Templar. Gets one. Is he going to get the second? But right now, there's just Zerg all over this base. And there's the GG. Mevius throws it in. And IJ takes game number 1. Kind of a slow build-up on that one. But really kind of exciting ending there. All right. Game 2. Let's do it. PVZ. Fighting Spirit. Let's get it. All right. Fighting Spirit. 4-player map. In our top left, we have our red Protoss. That is Mevius. And in our bottom left, we have IJ. Inside Job, our blue Zerg. Now, Inside Job is sitting 1-0 in this series. Last game, what we saw from him was we saw him go initial Zerglings, just poke around. Saw Mevius's Forge Cannon wall at the natural. Went in, built like 5 Mutalisks. He then from there catapulted into building a ton of macro hatcheries. I didn't do like a hatchery count, but I think he's at like 7 or 8 hatcheries, and then just made tons of Hydralisks. And he kept them all at home. He just had map control and vision through burrowed Zerglings, through the Hydralisks, through the Mutalisks, through the Scourge connections he was getting with his Corsairs. And then when he did pull the trigger, it was just overwhelming. He had so many Hydralisks, he had so many larvae at home that he was able to just continue marching clear across the field. It was a cross spawn. It was Eclipse, right? And just overwhelm Mevius. So curious to see what we have on this game. Now, Fighting Spirit, right? So Fighting Spirit, no shenanigans with doodads. Natural expansion, easily defendable, good choke. But key terrain includes this bridge, right? Usually very highly contested. The third base for each player, due to rotational symmetry, is a little weird, right? So like this one's closer to the opponent when it comes to air. So like Mevius has kind of like an air advantage on assaulting this natural in comparison to IJ assaulting the farther one for Mevius, right? And, you know, vice versa, the natural. But yeah, and then like this third base with the double ramp on the elevated terrain that's connected by this super long stretch of land that doesn't have a whole lot of buildable terrain, right? So that's Fighting Spirit in a nutshell. Everyone knows Fighting Spirit. It's been around forever. Looks like more of the same for Mevius. We've got the Forge going down here at the natural. And we have Inside Job going into his expansion. I didn't notice if it was an overpool again this time. Zergling running around, checking over here, seeing that he was not at this base. And so it looks like he's going to opt to take his third on the southern middle. The Overlord's scouting that this is where the Protoss is in the top left. And the first 2 cannons are going down. Now, something I think is a little bit dangerous here is in the event of Hydralisk play, or even Mutalisk play for that matter, this pylon's a little exposed, I feel. I don't know if that's standard for this map for Protoss players to do, but if he's not careful and gets another pylon like back here, he is at risk of this getting knocked out and having a full Artosis pylon moment. Alright, Zerglings are going to run over here. Kind of the same old thing, right? Just park out front. Keep an eye on if there's any move out. In the event he needs to throw down a bunch of sunken colonies or something. Pylon up here at the main. Really the exact same build order from Mevius. And this is why I called it last game. Because whenever he plays against a Zerg, I don't think I've seen him stray from this. I think this is like his PvZ build. But he's had a lot of success with it too. We're getting that gas up, but we are going straight into Hydras this time. Which I actually like. I think it's going to really come down to him being able to defend these Overlords and contain the Corsairs. Because last time, what made Inside Job, I think, successful with having map control, vision, understanding what was going on in the game, were those Scourge connections killing the Corsairs. Without that, the Corsairs would have just ran away and been killing Overlords all over the place, pushed him back into his base. Now, he had the burrowed Zerglings for vision all over the place, but I don't know. I felt like that was really, really impactful. A little bit tougher to do when you go Hydralisks, but you can definitely get on the offense. Now, it does look like Mevius is going Stargate again, and this is all being seen by IJ, so we're going to be seeing Corsairs again. But if we can get a Hydralisk count for the Zerg player that's high enough and quick enough, they won't be able to do a ton, because the Hydralisks are going to be up in the face of Mevius pretty quick, I think. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Another pylon going down here in the main. We'll see if he pushes out with these 3 zealots to shoo away these zerglings. Hydralisks look like kind of rallied across the map. More morphing. And I don't know what an effective number is. But again, like I said, if he could kill this pylon, I feel like that'd be pretty good. And I feel like whenever I see things like that, it never happens. And like when I'm playing, I keep an eye out for those kinds of things. Like, oh, that's a single pylon. And it just doesn't work out for me. But I feel like here, it's like the natural thing too. Like even if he just A moves these, I mean, they'll shoot the zealots or whatever, but he's eventually going to hit this. All right, zealots are going to come out here. It doesn't look like IJ's paying too close of attention. A couple zerglings are going to die. And here come the Hydralisks. So it looks like he's deciding to take out this forge right now. Now there is an upgrade, so that makes sense. More cannons. Please kill this pylon. I just want to see it happen. It looks like these are just kind of on A move, hitting everything. Okay, backup pylon is going down. So there goes kind of that fun moment. But the gateway gets taken out for free here. And these Hydras are just busting. Now the Zealots are on hold move. And the backup pylon has come up. Okay, now he's diving on the cannons. He's going to take out one. The probes are being pulled. They're coming into the Hydralisks. The Hydralisks are shooting down these cannons left and right. Another one goes down. But the probes are pulling their weight. They're killing these Hydralisks. They're messing up their pathing. More cannons are being built. Now, cannons aren't cheap. Right? Like, it's an investment. It looks like that upgrade finished as well, I think. Maybe it was canceled. But there's no other gateway. There's no other way for him to make any army. Oh, and he's trying to put the gateway right there again. Okay, does cancel it. And the Hydralisks are shooting one of the two remaining cannons. He's going to get some free probes here, I think, if he turns around. Probes are going to try to zone out this area. And now the Corsairs are going to start flying around. He's got to put some pressure back on. He's got to slow down this army. But Inside Job has a good amount of supply available to him to start spitting out more Hydralisks. Now he's going up in the lair. And Mevius is going into Storm. And he's also dropping a bunch of gateways in the main. And Storm is really like the key thing here. If he can get Storm and get some High Templars out and land them, he can shut this down. Forge does go down. This pylon's about to die. And now we also have this cool moment where like there's this big gap, right? So like if, for example, IJ... Okay, well, we had a gap. Went like mass lings, he could just run by. Which is always scary. Corsair sitting here at the main. Still a good amount of supply for IJ to work with. He's at 44 of 60 at the moment. Okay, he's going to try to dive on these cannons again. There's a lot of cannons here, but these Hydralisks are doing work. 2 go down right off the bat. 3 go down. Oh, man, Hydralisks just shred these. Oh, he's going to lose all the cannons. Kills all the cannons. Now it's just probes versus Hydralisks, and that's another GG. Inside Job takes it 2-0 against Mevius. Great series. So that knocks Mevius out of this tournament. Whew.